Welcome to Elevated Life, Real Wellness and Transformation podcast, where we walk alongside the internally driven individual as they transform their life through wellness, movement, mindset, and personal responsibility. If that's you, you're in the right place. Let's jump in.
With most of the podcasts, we're going.
Yeah. We're live.
We are. We like to encourage people to comment.
Yeah.
And I think it's fun. And maybe when we first started, I don't know, did we ever have a time where we got worked up about negative comments?
I don't know.
Maybe at the very start.
Such a
but
waste of energy.
Yeah. You know, most of the time if we respond, it's some version of, thank you so much for listening.
Yeah. And you do you.
Yeah. We got one that kind of leads into what we're going to talk about, I guess, on other podcasts. Because this is mostly just going to be an update.
Yeah.
I think. But wanted to start off with this because it was kind of funny. And it's actually from like a month ago. I guess I haven't been diligent enough at looking at YouTube comments. But it was around the Generational Entitlement podcast, which if you haven't listened to, you should go listen to it. It's great. But it says, notice the soft baby face with the beard, assuming he's talking about me, assuming it's a guy.
Sometimes I have a beard. I am 49. I do pluck some hairs.
Notice the soft baby face with the beard. I've never felt stressed before except existentially, dressing like they've never worked a real job in their life.
This is the funniest shit ever, because for those of you who actually listen to the podcast and have listened to the podcast, oh my gosh, I thought, it was really curious to me because I thought, talk about someone like we have a problem, society, like judging people in their current state, not realizing the actual hell. And I'm just going to speak for myself. Mm-hmm. The shit I've been through in my life. You want to talk about not working a day in my life? I started working when I was 10 at a blueberry farm. My parents quit paying for things when I was 13. Like, all I've been doing is working, which is why I'm fucking tired, right?
Yeah, it's just, for me, it's such a fascinating insight into how people think and how they process and again, kind of a teaser for the podcast, what we're going to most likely release on Monday. We'll see. But how everybody is just in their own world and feels like they whatever their view is, whatever their prism is of life is just the reality of life. And the entitlement of being able to just speak into other people's lives. Like, oh no, I can look at a video of you and I know everything about you and I'm going to treat you that way.
And it's funny because I don't even know anymore what I've noticed on social media. And I don't know if this is true for YouTube. I mean, it's social media, but a lot of AI comes out and comments negatively. Like if you look at the profiles of the people, what's the name of this guy's handle again? Because this is just a hoot, you guys. You're gonna laugh your asses off.
This is at, hold on, I lost it. Where'd it go? All right. I need my glasses.
Oh, soon.
He is, again, assuming it's a he, could be not, at Hot Pocket Mountain Dew.
Okay, so here's the deal. I'm going to tell you right now, being a 49-year-old woman who has gone through a lot of shit and sees the world from a completely different perspective, I'm not listening to anyone with a handle of Hot Pocket Mountain Dew, number one. Number two, I want to finish my thought. AI comes out and does a lot of negative comments. And I think it's to stir the pot.
Sure.
To feed off of, the energy that comes from that. Oh my goodness. Like that just hurt my feelings. And now I'm going to think about it and talk about it, which we are talking about it. But I just find it, hilarious, I guess. So that's not really what we're talking about today. We did a little teaser. We dropped that little voice note sort of podcast. I don't even know what it was on Monday, saying, the schedule has shifted because our life is batshit crazy. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today and just the update of what's going on so that those of you who listen regularly can know, because we also haven't been on social media a ton. I post on TikTok every day. So you guys, if you want to see us more than just Instagram, you can go over to TikTok. But really, that's just the quote of the day kind of a deal. But we're definitely more active over there than Instagram. I just haven't had time or bandwidth, really. I mean, it's just been a lot. So what have we been doing, Clint? Or what have we not been doing?
Oh, man. Yeah. What we've been doing. So we just got through, we're recording this on, what is today? Wednesday. We just got through having almost all of the kids.
Yeah, home.
For youngest graduation from high school.
Yeah.
Which is a big deal.
A really big deal.
It kind of gets poo-pooed a little bit, and, maybe we're guilty of that a little bit, but it is a big deal. It's exciting. It's a good transition into the next phase of life. That was coupled with one of the birthday parties for the youngest granddaughter, who turned 1.
Yeah.
Which was super exciting.
Super exciting.
In the midst of all that, working through selling a house, and we can get into more details in a minute, but that is an ongoing adventure.
Yes, it is.
Especially when you're selling an older manufactured home.
Yeah.
And then I'll just, because I've got thoughts on that, but we can talk about that in a minute. And also working through what's going on with the gym in town.
And trying to pack and all the things. So
and packing and trying to figure out how to move to Hawaii.
Yeah.
Which presents, and I'm certainly not complaining about it, but it presents a unique challenge.
Yeah.
Because we can't just load up a U-Haul and drive.
Right.
We've got to figure out, how to ship things, what we're going to ship, getting a car over there. We're moving to a mostly furnished house. So then
that's another update.
Oh yeah, I guess we haven't even talked about that.
Yeah, we have a rental, everyone. A 2-bedroom, 2-bath. What did we say? 275 steps from Poipu Beach. And that's super exciting. We actually will be signing our lease today.
Yep.
And getting that all set. So super excited about that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no.
I cut you off.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think if there was anything else going on in the last few days.
That feels like a lot. Plus, we're working.
Yeah. Plus life.
Yeah. So that's the reason why the podcast is wonky this week. And we just haven't really had the bandwidth to talk to people other than the people that were in our house.
And despite what people like Hot Pocket Mountain Dew might think, we put a lot of effort and energy into what we're talking about.
Yes.
When we're talking about the existential things, the only stresses in our lives.
Yeah.
So we really thought, and we kind of mentioned this on Monday, but we really thought it was important to not half-ass.
No, we're not half-assers. I'm not
going to shit out there.
I'm not going to just come on here and read off a script and not feel passionate about it. That's not how we roll. So anyway, graduation. Yay, Eve has graduated. We're very excited. And that was just a lot. Having all the kids home, it's a lot. Here's the jolt that happens in life. And if you have had several children and then they leave home and then they come back, you have this moment of, how did I manage the noise volume, the food volume, the just a lot of bodies volume? Because, We live a pretty peaceful life. I mean, we do. We work and we do all the things you guys know because we keep you updated. But then when the kids come home, and it's lovely, I don't want to take away from that at all. I love being around my kids, but it's just like this jolt, right? And so managing that was pretty intense. And then the back to back things. Friday, we went to the Chelan Water Park, super fun with the grandkids, like so much fun. Saturday was graduation, doing that whole scene. And then Sunday was Eve's party. So by the time everyone left Monday morning, I was so exhausted.
Yeah.
Like absolutely tapped out. And didn't sleep well during the weekend just because, you guys know, Clint and I go to bed at like 7:30, 8, maybe in the summer. And, obviously people in their 20s and late teens are not going to bed at 7:30. So, the house is bustling and we're not sleeping as well. So by the time the week end was done, I was exhausted.
And it really highlights something that we talk about a lot, the importance of routines.
Yeah.
And, we tried to stay as much as we could in our routine, but it just, you can't.
No.
And whether it's like Jonna was just talking about, the evening routine or the morning routine.
Yeah.
That it just gets skewed a little bit. And so it's just, it's not like a major thing. It's not a catastrophe or whatever, but it puts a little bit of kinks in things, and all of a sudden you've got a bunch of kinks in your life, and then it wears on you a little bit.
Yeah.
Hey friends, if you're getting something out of this, connect with us on our social media platforms. We're at CJ Elevated Life _ on Instagram and TikTok, and CJ Elevated Life on Facebook and X. We're answering DMs, sharing daily content, and building community with people ready for real transformation. For now, hit subscribe wherever you're listening, Apple, Spotify, YouTube. We drop 2 new episodes every week. And if this episode resonates, share it. That's how we reach more people who are ready for change. You can also find everything at cjelevatedlife.com. All right, let's keep going.
Yeah. The importance of pivoting, right? And realizing that it's, for a season, these days are becoming, non-existent in the future. The kids coming home to this house, doing these things. So really trying to be present. I am a Capricorn, and so I naturally am like, okay, this is crossed off the list. Okay, what's next? And so really forcing myself to be present and not just being like, I'm so excited to cross this off my list, right? So that was that. In terms of the house, let's talk about the house. Go for it.
It's fascinating to me. Maybe fascinating is too strong of a word, but it really has been a highlight of when you live in a place for an extended period of time, and then you're going to sell it, and somebody else is, taking over, so to speak. The things that are important to you that aren't necessarily important to somebody else, and vice versa. The things that were not important to you that are important to somebody else. One example of this, as we've found, and I don't know if we'll get into many details, but high level, the HVAC system in our, again, 1985 double wide. Yeah. John likes to call them wobblies.
Yeah.
Is we don't use it.
No.
We haven't used it. We do some fans and air conditioning when it gets really hot in the summer, but try to just have natural breezes as much as we can and keep things cool that way. And then in the winter, we're wood heat, maybe a space heater if it gets really cold in certain parts. Yeah, but primary source of heat in the winter is wood. And so it just doesn't even get turned on. It's not even a thought.
No, I don't like central air. I like open air, constant kind of airflow, even in the winter. right? Like I like a window open or to be able to go, obviously outside, but I prefer a more natural way of living in terms of cooling and heating.
Turns out the bank does not agree with us.
No, it doesn't.
So one of the snags we hit was the lenders, the bank, basically just said no, it has to have a functioning HVAC system.
Yeah.
In order to be a viable property, essentially.
And because it's 40 years old, they don't work on 40-year-old HVAC systems. So we have to get an entire new fucking HVAC system. And I don't know. It really bothered me for a couple of days. And now I'm just like, whatever. Like, whatever. We'll do the thing and get it done. But to me, I'm like, why would you pay for heat when you could go out in nature, find some dead trees, get some exercise, chop them down, do the things. And, not only is that so good for you because you're getting out in nature and you're moving your body, but then the satisfaction as you're, bringing in your wood in the winter, it's like, oh, I did this. And, but not everyone, and definitely the banks, they don't give a fuck about that shit, So anyway, that's something that's, we had to kind of go back and forth on that for a while. And after Jonna threw her 4-year-old fit of, what is going on? I don't even understand. I literally, and I know there might be people listening that are like, oh my gosh, I can't even believe that you think this is a thing. Mm-hmm. I can't believe that that's a thing. Like, honestly, you go get your wood, and maybe it's because I was raised on wood heat. The only time I've ever not had wood heat is when I've lived on the island, right? So when I lived on Maui, and now when I leave, I'm not going to have wood heat. But that's just always been something that I've had. And air conditioning 24/7, I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to speak to that because I just feel like it's silly. But that's just me.
Other than that, things are progressing.
Yeah.
We are still in the process, and anybody who's, again, lived in a place for a long time and then moved, I think can understand just the amount of stuff. We've talked about it. The amount of stuff that you just accumulate, excuse me, is it's kind of shocking in some ways. We've done several rounds, and like I said, we've talked about this. We've been at some level preparing for this for a couple years.
Yeah, we knew we were leaving,
which is just maybe the best decision we've ever made.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
As we go, round 5 or round 6 of cleaning out the shop or the pantry or whatever area that just accumulates stuff.
Yeah.
Like, man, we've done this like 3 or 4 times and gone on dump runs and gone on donation runs and, had the yard sale and then go back into it. And it's like,
there's so much
how
more.
is there still so much stuff?
Yeah. You guys, I really want to encourage you to, if you have the bandwidth, and all of this stuff is stagnant energy as well. And also for me, it's attached to lack because I don't want to say I'm a hoarder, but you guys know that used to be very much a prepper. And just going through all of the things has been insane. But what I want to encourage you to do is maybe go through your house and your structures like you're moving, right? And get rid of the stuff that accumulates. I had everything I owned burned to the ground over a decade ago. And so what I was able to get out of that structure was camping gear. And it's astonishing to me what has accumulated in a decade with going through, 3 years ago, we dumped a ton of shit. Mm-hmm. It's just been this never ending stuff. Mm-hmm. And it's this process of letting go, right? Letting go that lack mindset, like, oh, I might need this rubber band, right? And I've talked before about how my grandmother lived through the Great Depression, and it literally changed her biology. And I believe that was passed down to me through the DNA. And I don't want to say I'm a hoarder, but I am you never know person.
Well, here's a great example that we just had yesterday that is not a huge thing, but an example of it. Cleaning out one of the cupboards that's kind of like a little pantry. We had a big jug of Worcestershire sauce.
Yeah.
Like, oh, should we hang on to this? Whatever. And so then we're talking about it and like, oh, it's good. It's not expired or anything. And then we said, well, when was the last time we used Worcestershire sauce?
Yeah.
Like, I'm thinking back, like, I don't think I have in at least 3 years.
Well, you have since we've lived together because I've made sauce. But honestly, I can count it on one hand.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And in my mind, I feel wasteful, right? Like, am I wasting these things? I know that there's people that would really appreciate this. I don't know where you donate those things to, right? I mean, the senior center too, but who needs a 5-gallon bucket of Worcestershire? I mean, it's not 5 gallons, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and especially that's half used.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. It's that kind of stuff. So go through your pantry or your stuff and let things go.
And I think one thing that I would advocate for, again, with that we've been doing this for years, the advantage of doing that, especially if you don't have the pressing, we have to move or whatever that is, being able to do it in phases.
Yes.
So you don't get overwhelmed because, anybody who's done the opposite and like, oh shit, I got to get out of my house this weekend and I haven't even started doing anything.
Yeah.
Then it becomes, I'm just throwing everything away.
Yeah.
And I've moved a couple times now in the last 5 years, and it just, there are things where you go back like, why did I get rid of that?
Yeah.
That's something I actually used, but I was just in the mindset of it's gone.
Yeah.
If it doesn't fit in the trunk of my car, it's gone.
Yeah.
Which is not a good thing either. So there's definitely a balance, and if you do it in a really phased approach, it's much easier to have that balance of, okay, this is a maybe, a legitimate maybe. I have used this in the last few months, or there is a purpose for this. I can go ahead and keep hanging on to this. This thing that I haven't used in years that I don't even know what it is, I can get rid of that.
Yeah.
Versus the urgent mindset of, no, I just have to get rid of everything.
The phases have been essential for me because the overwhelm that I get in just knowing myself, I get overwhelmed or I get too stimulated, honestly. And then why do I have this stuff? I'm a little bit self-deprecating in it. Why did I hang on to this for so long? And then I feel bad that, I have this lack mindset, or it also is a tell for what your mindset was back when you had that thing, right? Or put those things away, and having to revisit that as I'm, going through my herb collection, it's insane. I'm like, how many herbs do you need? Like, yes, I need some of these herbs, but come on, lady. Like, this is insanity. So anyway, and then, as I'm going through this, I'm going back in time and really trying to hug the lady that thought that having 100 pounds of rice, was super important. And the fear that, that I was living in at the time, and really trying to be gracious with that old version of me. And that's hard. That's why the phases are so important, because you can only hug your old identity for so long. Be very like, I'm freaking exhausted. I need to move on. So anyway, that's been super beneficial, but we are in the last kind of phase of the deep going through and moving into the, okay, now we get to gather all the things, because we have to figure out how big the container is going to be. We have to get that scheduled. We have to get the truck scheduled to leave. There's some really big like things coming up. And not only do we have that, but this weekend we leave for Eden's big birthday party. That's obviously with her parents, not just with, Nani and Clinker. And then go also like flashbacking a year to how Eden came into this realm, right? And if you guys haven't listened to that podcast, go back and listen to it, because it was very traumatic. And it's funny, I had a memory pop up on Facebook today of Lex and Parker and Eden after, Lex had been out of the, what was she in ICU? What's the ICU?
Yeah.
And Eden out of the NIC, and they were finally reunited, and I got a picture of them, and I was like, oh my gosh, that was insane. Absolutely insane. If you guys, I'll just give you a slight recap. Lexi was having Eden in a birthing center. What's the name of the birthing center? I want to say it.
Oh my gosh. I don't remember. I can look for it.
Yeah. Anyway, and it went not good. Her water broke. They kept her there way too long. There was meconium detected. They didn't think it was a big deal. And I had to get mouthy with the midwife, and we had to go to the hospital, Providence Hospital in Everett.
The special delivery.
Yeah, the special delivery.
In Arlington, Washington.
It's really interesting, because after I did all those posts and social media blasts and podcasts, the amount of women that have reached out this entire year, it does not stop, with the same stories, and some even worse. And so that's been really interesting, but also just revisiting that entire situation when you think that, your daughter and granddaughter are going to die, and just, oh my gosh. So with all that said, I'm super excited to be celebrating that Eden is doing very well, and so is Alexa, and so is Parker, and we get to celebrate that this weekend. So super excited. Hey, quick pause. If this episode is hitting you and you're ready for real tools, here's what we built.
Head on over to cjelevatedlife.com, pick up the Rebuilt Method for Men
Whoa.
or the Rebuilt Method for Women, just $67 each. We also created the Parasite Detox Blueprint at $37. And this is actually the exact protocol we use ourselves.
And while you're there, sign up for the newsletter. You'll get the weekly action steps and new tools we've tested ourselves. Let's get back to the episode.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was tossing around how many more details we wanted to go into, but definitely.
Well, I think we went into all the details on the podcast.
I was going to say, it's definitely worth, going back. If you have any interest at all, go back and listen to that. It's a
three-part series, 2 or 3?
At least 2.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 of detailing the whole thing.
And that's when I learned that doing things natural is amazing and lovely, but I have huge respect for the medical system in emergency situations, because the way that Providence jumped in, and their staff and their doctors and their nurses, was fucking phenomenal. Yeah. So anyway, I learned a lesson there, because I used to be like, no, every woman should have her baby at home, and this is a racket, and blah, blah, blah. Very much on one side of the pendulum. And now I'm definitely have more equilibrium in that because of what we experienced. So anyway, that's pretty much what is going on, right? Anything else, sir, that you want to add?
I don't think so.
Our departure date, you guys, is the first week of August.
Yeah.
That's when we are out. The gym, we can just talk briefly about that. We are in good talks with a potential buyer and super excited about that. So the community has rose up. They absolutely love elevated fitness, turns out, right? Because since announcing that we're leaving, there's been a lot of tears and a lot of, oh, what are we going to do? And a lot of feedback with what the space means to people. And that has been, like, talk about an expansion of my heart chakra. I'm just exactly what I wanted it to be. People feeling welcome, building community. You know, it's not a bro gym. Everyone's welcome, and how people feel loved and supported and safe in there. And I love that. So keeping that for the community warms my heart.
Yeah.
It really does. So that's going smoothly. And, you know, when I'm rattling off all of these things that we're doing and what's going on, I'm just like, holy shit, that's a lot, because that's not even like, and I'm waking up and, you know, working and living normal life, right? All the life things. These are my last basically 2 weeks of training. And that's been really interesting, saying goodbye to clients and just having more time to basically work here and do all the paperwork stuff that's involved in selling everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's basically the news. That's the tea, everyone. That's the update as of Wednesday, June, whatever. 17th. And we are going to drop this today, correct?
Yeah.
We're dropping this today.
Yep.
Even though when we put out our little ditty, we were like, okay, Tuesday and Thursday. We really appreciate that you guys are giving us grace in this, because it is, you know, crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. It just, you know, you think that so often you think that you can fit more things in a day than you really can.
Yeah.
You know, everything takes so much more time. I mean, even like the last round of going through the kitchen that we've already gone through a couple times.
Yeah.
Was 2 hours.
And it shocked me when you were like, yeah, that we got that done in 2 hours. I was like, what? 2 hours? Like, yeah. Yeah,
Things just take time.
They do. Yeah. So. And again, we don't want to deliver anything half-ass.
But that being said, I know I've already talked about it a couple times. We've got a couple fascinating, at least in our minds, topics that we're going to talk about for next week's podcast. That just so many experiences, a couple things that are, it's like the old analogy, you know, you never see a purple Subaru until you get a purple Subaru, and then everybody has a purple Subaru. It's just things that, as we've noticed it and started talking about it just between the two of us, you just see it everywhere.
Everywhere.
And it really is beneficial to be able to recognize it to help navigate through things.
Sure. And recognize it, but then have it not affect you. Because what we're talking about, main character syndrome. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. And now that, you know, we've talked about it, and I know that's a catchy phrase. It's not like a psychology phrase. That's like the social media phrase. Oh my gosh. Like lots of opportunities to notice that this last week. So we're going to dive deep into that next week, because once you're aware of it, then you not only will see it in maybe people around you, but you can also, again, guys, identify it within yourself when you're doing the main character syndrome thing. And then if you are trying to be a better human, you can take steps to stop doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Anyway, thanks for listening, guys. I know it wasn't a doozy, but this is why things are wonky. All the things we just mentioned. So have a lovely day.
And we'll talk to you soon.